Hello, YouTube users. This is Bob Moylan, psychotherapist. I'm here to discuss the emotional core therapy process, which is scientifically proven to be the most effective model in the world available for stress for those in the LGBTQ population. We know from research that they suffer a great deal of stress. We're going to cover some of that topics today. And the emotional core therapy app is scientifically proven to be the most effective model in the world for basically any type of stress you're having, whether it's depression, anxiety, addictions, anger. Let's go through the process right now. You're looking at the app, the front page right here. The app has links to my books right here, and then journal articles. Journal articles cover topics such as depression, anxiety, addictions, and there are teaching tools on there. It has a training video, which is an hour long right here, which you can learn through examples. About 8 or 10 of my patients that have gone through stress, how to learn the 8-step process. The easiest way to learn the process is to read the About Us section, which has shows you how to use the app. The app is best to use for small stresses first, then master it. It sometimes takes 5, 10, 20 hours to learn to deal with stress. Stress is the temporary arousal of one of the 4 emotions. As you see here, the symptoms of joy, grief, fear, and relief are identified right here. Anger, which is just a reaction to grief, is discussed also. So this app treats the root cause of stress, and no other app does it. That's why it's the most effective in the world. Let's dive right into the process here and show you how it works for the LGBTQ population. So we start the app, and what is causing you stress today? I am a person identifying as I'm typing it in here, identifying as LGBTQ, and I am. What stress are you having leaving? And today we're going to discuss basically your some of the higher symptoms of stress they have is with lack of sleep and depression symptoms. So we'll talk about lack of sleep right here. All right, so we go to the app. Let's go to the next section here. What is the prominent need of someone or something that's causing you stress? When we look at the app, things that cause us stress can be brought into 4 categories: emotional, financial, spiritual, physical. Sometimes it's all 4, just one, or sometimes one of the 4. And so we have to examine what in the environment is causing us stress. And for the LGBTQ population, the environment does cause a great deal of stress from how they're treated. So let's look at LGBTQ stressors right here. I clicked this up earlier. So we look at the stresses that they're facing right here. We look at over time, a lot of things they're suffering stress from. Let me go back into grab another example. Here's an article about LGBTQ teens suffering high levels of stress. And they discuss some of that stress. Found that 90% have trouble sleeping, 70% have trouble with feeling depressed, etc. And so let's take the example of sleeping. If they have trouble sleeping at night, that's going to affect a large part of your day. So we cut and paste that right out. Whatever is causing this population stress, we can research it, cut it right out from the internet, cut and paste it, and then go back to the app and put it in the app to say exactly what's causing us stress. So we write that down. The key to this app is that you can monitor your stress. The third step is automatic. What senses are being aroused? Well, I think the patient in this case is seeing it, hearing what's going on, and so that's an automatic step for the most part. Here's the key part of the app. The app allows you to rate your level of stress. From the time you're born to the time you die, we have stress, all human beings. Well, stress is the temporary arousal of one of these emotions, whether it's joy, grief, fear, and relief. As human beings, we want more joy and relief than grief and fear. And as we discussed, this community, the LGBTQ community, has a great deal of stress surrounding a lot of their symptoms, and this time we're talking about lack of sleep. Lack of sleep can cause you all kinds of issues. So we looked at the level of stress he's facing, and we can rate it from 1 to 10. We always want to monitor what's in the environment that's causing us stress. I often tell my patients, if you put your hand on a stove and you burn it, you don't do it again. Human beings, have to learn to monitor their stress and feel what's good for them. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What one person likes, another person doesn't like. But obviously, we want to move towards relationships that bring us joy and relief and move away from those that cause us grief and fear. If you're having trouble sleeping, you have to try to change your habits and see what you're doing differently. A key part of this approach is the autonomy of each human being to pick and choose what makes them happy. So that's the key part of this app. This is step 4. We're going to rate our stress from 1 to 10. That's what we're doing here. The higher the stress, the more need for, mental health counseling. The fifth step is stress reverberates throughout the body. It's like an echo or like an alarm that sets off. It goes through your brain, through your muscles, tendons, and central nervous system. Long-term stress is not good for human beings. The sixth step has you rate your stress. Where is it coming from? Which part of your body do you face it? Like in this particular example, let's say he faces it in his chest. We can actually talk in the app like you're talking to your girlfriend or boyfriend, or write in the app. Let's use the voice activation system right here, the little thing right there. Chest. So we write down the chest is where you feel that stress. That's kind of healthy for human beings, is to write down where they feel this stress. Excuse me, let me go back here and write that down. So you feel it in your chest. That's it. So once we feel it in our chest, next step is we have to learn to release it. When we have stress, we have to learn to release it. It's like brushing your teeth. You want to clean your teeth from germs. You want to also release stress from your body, because it's just temporary in nature anyways. So how can you release this stress? We can talk it out and write it out, or many examples. There's other examples in my books and videos have examples of these, but right now we're just going to talk about writing out and talking out. So I'm stressed today regarding my relationship choice with my sleeping habits, which are causing me a lot of problems. That's what the person is going through here. And the emotion is feeling of grief, okay? So we put it in the app, we talk about it, it's healthy to do. The eighth step is like a mindfulness-based approach of just learning to deep breathe and relax. When we calm ourselves down, we make better decisions. There's really only 7 steps to the process. These 7 steps happen in all human beings, and it's whether we're smart enough and aware enough to deal with this stress. But we want to reset somehow, and that's why learning to have a calm state of being is so healthy for human beings. So let's take a look at this 40-second video right now on mindfulness.
Let your mind relax and daydream. Whatever thoughts come and go in your mind, simply observe them as if from a distance. Notice your breathing. Breathe in through the nose for a count of 3, and out through a count of 6. Feel yourself slowly regaining yourself from the stress of the outside world. When you reach a calm state of being, click on the icon below to end the 8-step process.
So let's now go back to the home section of this app. We don't always have to use the 8-step, the whole 40-second time, 42-second video. We can use it for 10, 15 seconds, or just skip the section and just do the 7 sections of stress. But it's important for human beings to be able to verbalize and write out their stress. I call it catharsis is king. Cleansing of the soul is be vigilant about that is important, because stress alters the central nervous system, so we want less stress. That's why this app is so helpful. And you can use it anytime, day or night. Right now it's on the Android system, but I hope to have it on the iPhone system shortly. Again, this is the most effective model in the world for peace and happiness, so who doesn't want that? You can monitor the things that make you happy, which is a wonderful dynamic for the LGBTQ population to use too. Thank you, Bob Moylan.